schedule. So before any regular season action goes down on the field, we're pulling out our biggest predictions this season. We call it Prediction Week 2021. It's very serious. We don't even know who each other are picking. It is not in the prompter, at least it better not be, or that vein that sometimes appears somewhere on Kyle's forehead. I think it's right here. Just the logo and jet out. But I think they took it out of the prompter. Do you feel good about it?
No.
You did? Well,
why would I?
Earlier in the show, we each revealed our picks for 2021 Rookies of the Year, defensive, offensive. Now it's time to tell you about Coaches of the Year. Kyle, it's not in the prompter.
Yeah, that's right. I can see Peter's up here. David Culley. Peter, incredible prediction. Coach Culley, you went with a man. Listen, the way, if you look in the history of Coach of the Year, they love the first-year head coaches. Love it. So you got to look, is it Sirianni or Urban? Or, who knows? I'm not going to do that because I think there was a wrong that's going to be righted. Last year, Kevin Stefanski won Coach of the Year, and good for him. The Browns were great.
Should have won it.
The Browns were 11-5, didn't even win their own division. Meanwhile, my pick for this year on a makeup call, Sean McDermott of the Buffalo Bills last year went 13-3, seemingly ended the New England Empire, went to the title game. This dude has shown up, brought the Bills back from 25-some years, got them to the playoffs with Tyrod Taylor as their quarterback, and now they're to the title game, and he doesn't have any Coach of the Year. The Bills. I understand Stefanski did God's work with the Browns. He didn't do that man's work. They are now a no-nonsense, all-business organization. He works out in the driveway. He comes on Good Morning Football, and he takes the Buffalo Bills to the title game and maybe even farther this year. Sean McDermott, Coach of the Year. Yes, Peter.
13-3 last year and didn't win it. So what does he have to do this year to win it? 14-3?
14-3. That's the math. It is a gift from the NFL that we have one more game with which Sean McDermott can now win the NFL Coach of the Year. You brought the Bills to the title game.
I love that.
It's been a long time. We got to do this.
Okay, so back to your stand. Like, it's either going to be a great coach has an unbelievable season, like the John Harbaugh year where they won with the Ravens and went 14-2, or it's just that first-year coach, the Nagy, the McVays, where the Stefanskis, where it's like, all right, we didn't expect this team to be as good. But is there that in between? Is there that team that no one's really expecting to make a splash, and then, oh my God, they won the division? Well, that's impressive. I'm going to go with Joe Judge of the New York Giants.
Really? Go run Gashers, Peter.
I think it's an old school mentality. And
really?
Gosh, if you've watched their preseason this year, you are not enthused because their offensive line looks terrible. Terrible. But we haven't seen Saquon. We haven't seen Galladay.
That's right.
We haven't seen Kadarius Toney. I don't think we've seen the full arsenal yet, and I think it's boom or bust for the Giants this year. They might, I think Judge is safe, but they might want to look at some new decision makers, might make a lot of changes, and look at a new quarterback if it doesn't work out this year. But if it does, I think it's going to be overcoming a lot of obstacles and a lot of naysayers. Look, I love the fact that 4 players retired during training camp over the coaching way they were operating. I don't think I love the fact the offensive tackles could not block anything in the preseason.
Nothing.
But I do love the fact that he's about discipline, he's about coaching, he's about accountability, and he's had the support of his quarterback. I'm sink or swim with the Giants. I think I'm swimming. I'm going Joe Judge, Coach of the Year 2021.
Can I give you would you rather? They both go 10-7 and get to the playoffs. Would you give Coach of the Year to Joe Judge or Sean Payton?
Those are two incredible. I think
that's Tom Payton. Yeah.
I think you got to go Sean Payton. I think you got to go Sean Payton.
Can't let a Hall of Famer leave.
What they're dealing with right now.
Well, we'll get to my prediction in a second, but Michael, go for it.
You know what? For me, I'm gonna have to go Sean McVay.
Okay.
Sean McVay.
Second time, 2-time winner.
Yeah, I got to go Sean McVay. First of all, to have the intestinal fortitude to be able to draft a quarterback in the first round and then say bye to him. Just say bye. We don't want you no more. You know, and totally live in that truth. And then he gets Matthew Stafford, raves about him. I think Matthew Stafford, again, as I said before, he's one of the top 5 arms in this league right now. You bring over Sony Michel, you bring over Deshaun Jackson, a guy who runs straight through zones. He still has the speed. I think the Rams are in for a huge season. Their defense, they lost their defensive coordinator, but they still have Jalen Ramsey. They still have Aaron Donald. I don't need to say nothing else about the defense, okay? I think the Rams go to do something better than they haven't done in a long time. I'm not going to make that prediction right now.
Which means winning.
But Sean McVay, Sean McVay wins the 2021 Coach of the Year. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't see you going that way,
I know.
Mr. Seattle.
Kyle took a little bit of my thunder.
I know.
I'm sorry, we don't know the picks.
I'm on your
I also, of course, thought Matt Rule.
Yeah, Matt Rule's a good choice.
You know, I love Carolina, and I feel like if he brings this team into the playoffs from a 5-11 season last year, new quarterback, all of that, he'd be interesting. Also Shanahan, because if he gets that 2-quarterback thing working, actually, and that team will be successful. But at the forefront of the conversation, if they're successful, and I think there's lots of playoff spots up for grabs in the NFC, it is Sean Payton. If he can, after 15 years with Drew Brees, get the best out of Jameis Winston, something Bruce Arians was not able to do with the #1 overall pick down there in Tampa Bay, without Michael Thomas to start the year, it's got to be Sean Payton. They have Kamara. They still have a top 5 defense. And if Jameis truly has grown and evolved and gotten better, why not? It's crazy to think Payton hasn't won the award since, 2006? That season with Brees.
Like that, yeah.
He's had so much success since then. Never a Super Bowl win, of course. Never that deep roll into the playoffs.
They got their win. He got their ring in 2009, and I think it's been a while, though.
Yeah, you got a Hall of Fame quarterback. You should have more than that.
First season with Brees, 2006, was his only time winning the award. So much success since then, including a Super Bowl. Weird that he hasn't gotten the love since.
Well, if he does it, they have to play their opening game in Jacksonville, too.
I was gonna say,
like, if he has to take them on the road, whatever that's now one we're all rooting for, too.
Take me into this. What really matters? What is it? Narratives like we're saying, like that matters. The adversity matters. Who's voting? How does this work?
Yeah, I mean, Sean Payton, obviously they went to the NFC Championship that year, but it was a story of post-Katrina and let's lift up all these boats. Like, there's always a story to it. So for the Bills for McDermott to get it this year, they're gonna have to be the best team.
I know.
For McVay to get it, they're gonna have to be the best team. Joe Judge needs to make the playoffs. Sean Payton could be a really cool story if they have an awesome narrative where this team overcomes everything and Jameis is revitalized. It would be hard not to vote him in.
Who's voting?
The writers.
The writers.
50
so, like,
writers.
when Shanahan's like, I'm not
writer.
saying it. When a coach is prickly, does it matter?
Probably not. The results speak for themselves.
Belichick's won 3 times, so.
There we go.
I think the one that they love is from the ashes building something up.
Yes.
Meaning Urban Meyer this year. 1-15. Like a terrible team that gets to 9 wins from 1 win. I think that is the absolute favorite. So you got to look at him. You got to look at Saleh.
I'm about to say Robert Saleh.
Saleh for sure. Even Sirianni, like those, and they love the first timers. If you pull up the list, it's so many first-year head coaches, tons.
Yeah.
Those guys, sort of the favorites, even though you think, their team's not that good.
Did anybody give thought to Belichick here?
I did. I really did.
That's a good question.
It was tough because, I love my Bills. They're in the same division. But I did give some thought to Bill Belichick. I mean, you can't lose a guy like Tom Brady and think that there won't be any repercussions, wouldn't be any type of deals there. You drafted a quarterback in the first round for the first time, I don't know, forever, in all of Bill Belichick's time there. You spent some money in the offseason. It seems like to me, Bill Belichick, if you just look at his moves this offseason, he's admitting that he hadn't been that good in scouting over the last couple of years. He's admitting that he didn't have the right tools around Tom Brady the last year he was there.
I just wonder if we're sitting here in January and we're talking about the Patriots going to the AFC Championship. Are we surprised at all?
Well, they got to get past the Bills for
Would
that.
be shocked? I don't know.
The
that
rookie
guy
quarterbacks, it just doesn't happen much. Even Mac Jones was great. The AFC title game, the AFC is so good. I would be shocked.
Would you be
Freezing cold.
shocked?
I would be surprised. It's a lot to get, especially with the Bills, the Chiefs, the Browns, the Ravens. Like, there's some powers in the Titans. We didn't mention Andy Reid or Bruce Arians.
It's a great point.
Maybe we're bored. Maybe we're spoiled, but both
Bruce
those
Arians
guys.
has won it twice, too, already.
Yeah.
Ron Rivera's won it twice.
Yeah.
Washington,
That's a great story, too, down there.
Yeah, that is a good story.
Clearly, we don't know.
We don't.
What do you guys think out there? Let us know at GMP.
Mike Zimmer fans.
Our predictions. We've got Sean McDermott to Kyle. Peter chooses Joe Judge. Didn't see it going that way, Peter.
I did not.
Mike Robb goes with Sean McVay, sort of putting feelers out for another prediction maybe later this week. Weird. And I say Sean Payton if things break